What's up, everyone? Welcome into Mikey's Boardroom. I'm Mikey.
I'm Krista.
And this is our boardroom. Tonight, we're going to review Curious Cargo. Curious Cargo is a game for 2 players only. It's a game where you basically, each person runs their own factory or their own warehouse where you're shipping out blue and red goods. And so you want to build a pipe structure from your machines to your shipping docks where you can send trucks out. And then you also want to build pipes to your receiving docks on the other side of your board where you try to receive the goods that your opponent has shipped out. And so whoever can do that better and solve that puzzle better is going to win the game, usually. So yeah, we're going to review it.
Alrighty.
Anything you want to say about it before we jump in? Real quick before we dive in, just comment, like, subscribe.
All that jazz.
Anything you want to say before we jump into it?
Nope.
All right, so we're just going to give our basically what we liked, what we didn't like, then some secondary thoughts on the game, and kind of explain how the game works as we go. So let's talk about what we liked. What's something that you liked about the game?
I liked the puzzle aspect.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, is that there's 3 different puzzles in this game. You're building out your pipes. You're trying to line the trucks up with your loading docks that are going to be connected to your pipe system, and not all trucks can receive goods in every single spot. There's different sizes of trucks, and some of the slots on those trucks won't hold goods, so you kind of have to solve and think about where your pipes are being built and what trucks you have and where they're going to end up on that outgoing side of your board. So that is one aspect of or I guess that's 2 aspects: building the pipes, shipping out the goods, and then the second aspect is the receiving goods. You have to be able to, everything you're doing to figure out how you ship out that truck and making sure that it's going to receive the goods. You have to do the same thing except with the trucks coming in. So you have to count ahead and figure out where that truck's going to end up on your board there to try and receive the red good versus the blue good at slot 5 or 6. And then on top of that, you have to be able to pivot because sometimes things just change up or things don't go as you expected, but you can lay pipe tiles on top of other pipe tiles, as long as they're laying flat. And you can kind of change your pipe system on the fly. So you have to be, thinking about that as well as I missed that red by 1. Oh, but I have this tile. I can actually switch it, and now I get to receive that good. So there's sort of 3 different puzzles going on at the same time, and they're all fun.
They're all fun and challenging.
And then you can also play trucks onto your opponent's side of the board for their for shipping out their goods, to try and either mess up what their plan is, or more likely to try and bump a truck up to the spot that you need it, versus where they might play. If I have a truck that's 2 spots and I'm that would be perfect, I don't know if she's going to play a 3 spot or a size 3 truck or whatnot. I can throw a truck down there to control that. So
you can definitely have more fun with that aspect though. If you want it to be a mean game, you could totally
you definitely can make it mean. You could just try and screw over the other person. But at the same time, it is harder to receive the goods, in my experience, than to ship out the goods. So mainly I'm focused on getting my goods out and then, watching for whenever she starts getting her goods on the trucks. And then I'm okay, now it's time to try and build that structure.
Some people have fun just pissing off the other player.
Yeah, true. If that's your thing, then if that's your thing, I don't want to play games with you.
Yeah, but you can totally do that in this
But
game.
you can mess with people and try and mess with them.
Yeah. My granny would play like that for sure.
Exactly. The second thing I really liked about it is the game time. I always talk about game time. That's a big thing for me, whether it's too long, too short, or just right. This game is just right, and it's under an hour, which is awesome. I like short games that give you a lot of...
there's a lot of meat.
A lot of meat, a lot of thinking to do, a lot of just interacting.
But not so much so that your brain hurts at the end.
Some people, I'm sure, would disagree with you. But it's
a little.
It's really hard to get going in this game. The first when you're learning it, when you're learning it, it's just oh my gosh, there's so much or maybe it's just because it's a spatial puzzle. That's jumping way ahead to other secondary thoughts, but it's a spatial puzzle. So if you struggle with those spatial puzzles where it's I have this much room and I have to do this in that area, if you struggle with those, this is definitely going to be rough for you. And it might just be that it's hard for me. It was hard for me to kind of figure it out at first, but once it clicked, I feel like we can do it pretty well.
I didn't have a problem with that. I had a problem connecting all the different puzzles. Figuring out how to play so that it benefits the other part of it and it benefits the other part of it. That's where I struggle.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yeah, so kind of saying the same thing, but in two different ways. So everybody's different. So it just depends on what you struggle with in games, what you don't like, and what you do like. But for me, I struggle a lot at first, but now it clicked, and I'm kind of like, okay, I got the groove of it down.
Yeah.
And it seems like you the same thing, but in a different way.
There's a method to the madness.
But yeah, anyways, what we were talking about, game time.
Game time.
Game time is perfect.
Yes.
About 40 minutes, 45 minutes usually. And really satisfying, game in that.
I like that we play simultaneously, but there's also like a method, so neither one of us can jump too far ahead over the other. One
part of it is simultaneous play. Yeah. The other part is turn order. So you're laying pipes simultaneously, do 3 actions, and then it's turn order for the truck phase. So
I like that a lot.
It breaks it up well, and I do like it a lot, yeah. Another thing I really like is there's a bunch of different boards. So I don't know exactly. I mean, I should have checked before we recorded, but there's a fair amount of boards, and each of them are double-sided. And so the machines are all in different places, and there's little gear tokens on the map that if you cover, you get a gear token. Those are all in different places to try and change up the puzzle and make it easier or harder.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So could we each play with different boards in the same game, or do they have to mirror each other?
That is an excellent question. I don't know why you couldn't. I'm pretty sure in the rules it says to grab the same one, but I could be wrong.
You could just have fun.
I mean, I don't think it matters, and thinking about it, because the goods doesn't change. It's just like where you have to route it to. So I think you could.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. So that's really nice. I really like the variety that this game has in the boards.
It's a perfect word.
Exactly. Yeah. Variety. And then another thing that it actually has an advanced game mode, which we haven't even played yet. But it adds in a third color. So rather than just blue and red, it's blue, red, and purple. And so you have to build 3 pipe structures trying to ship out and receive 3 different goods. So it just adds another sort of...
That might make your brain hurt.
Exactly. Now, it makes that puzzle harder to solve in every aspect. Mm-hmm. I also feel... I haven't played it yet, so this is just my initial thoughts on it, is that it would also kind of make it more convoluted and just being like, well, I just kind of have to go for it and... and hope for the best. Whereas with blue and red, I feel like with your trucks coming in, I have some slight control over how it's easier. I guess it's just easier, and that's the whole idea. Yeah, it's like pivot easier.
We should try it.
We should try it. We probably should have done it before we reviewed them, but whatever. Second review coming up. So yeah, I love the variety in this game. Try as much as you want. It's going to be hard to build the same pipe structure every single time because you're drawing them from a bag, and it's just a lot. So lots of variety.
Yeah.
Any other positives before I move on to the negatives?
I don't think so. But I'm interested to know what your negatives are.
My negatives?
Yeah.
Okay. Why you don't?
I don't really have any negatives.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some negatives.
Okay.
The first one is the choppy game flow. We talked about how we like that there's simultaneous and then turn order phases. Mm-hmm. The simultaneous play just is so quick. You get 3 actions. And 1 action is drawing a tile, and 1 action is playing a tile. So you basically can do one of those things as much as you want up to 3 times. Mm-hmm. I just kind of wish it just makes it really choppy because you're like drawing, that's 1, 2, 3, and then that's it. That's the turn. And then I'm done, and I'm waiting for you. And then once you finish, okay, now we move into the truck phase, and we do this other stuff. Okay, we finished the truck phase. Let's go back to that. 1, no, not good. 2, I'll play that one. 3, there, it's done again. Now I'm waiting. You know what I mean?
I hear it. I don't agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Why do you disagree?
Because I think it makes it more fun to play.
Get out of my boardroom.
It's just more fun to play because it doesn't give you a lot of time to think it through. Yeah. You kind of just have to make a decision and go with it. And that's part of the fast-pacedness of it that I like.
Okay, I see.
I think it gives it a little bit more like fun.
I completely understand.
Flair to it.
I completely see that side of it.
Because if it wasn't so choppy, the smarter person could outthink you.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So this makes it more of like an even playing field.
Okay. Well, what if it was three you can play 3 tiles, and that way you basically get 1 extra thing. Like you draw 2 tiles, and you can play 3.
That would probably still be fun. Like,
but it's
I wouldn't
argue.
I
would say it's better that way. Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's better the way it is.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I thought it was choppy, but I mean, I was struggling.
I was
struggling to come up with negatives because I feel like no game's perfect, and so every game has something that could be improved.
I have a complaint actually. I realize it,
okay.
But I will really quick talking about yours. Is I do agree that I lose track of if I'm taking like 2 turns or not.
Exactly.
So maybe if there was like a way to just keep track of that.
When we did our
would be nice.
When we did our playthrough, And I was editing it, I realized many times I'm like, oh, that I actually took 4 actions there. Oh, she took 4 actions there. Like it's gonna happen in this game, I guess, unless you're really on it, which we're not. We're just trying to have fun, and it's not that big of a deal if somebody, as long as you're not like trying to cheat intentionally. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So if there was a way to keep track of like what you've done, that would be nice. But my complaint, it's a kind of a lame one, is that it's so easy to move the tiles that you can screw up your entire board instantly.
That is exactly my other complaint. Is that everything's just these boards are way too smooth and silky. One little bump and everything goes. It's like no, and trying to like put in a tile at just the one spot.
Yes. Or if you put it down and realize you made the wrong choice, and you're like,
trying to get it up, no matter what you do, it's like operation, except you will always fail, and just one slight little move, not even a centimeter, and the whole board's like.
Yeah.
So
I do agree with that.
But I do have an argument against that. Yeah. Is that this game is not expensive. I think I got it for $20 on Tabletop Merchant, and it is not expensive at all. And like I'm sure if they wanted to, they could make one with a board with like locking in spots and all sorts of stuff where you like set the machines in it, and there's minis and stuff like that. You could make it and charge $80 for it, but I would say that the trade-off is worth it because you get a great game. It's $20. And like you bump it and it messes up, but like you can fix it.
I agree.
It is reversible, and I'd say it's better cheap because more people can play it, and it doesn't need all that junk.
It's not a big complaint because I couldn't even think about it at first.
But I did have that one written down too. It is very annoying. If you get this game, be prepared because it's gonna happen. But it is just worth. It's worth the trade off of it being so cheap.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Those are my only negatives. That's all I could come up with.
I can't think of any other negatives, which is weird for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so other thoughts. So these are basically what you might find as a negative in this game to me, because it's not something these aren't things that make me like the game less, but they're things that could make other people like the game less.
Okay, so I shouldn't argue them. You're just gonna listen to them.
No, argue them. If you disagree, especially argue. But my first one is that it is, like we kind of already said, it's like a bit of a brain burner, which you, I guess, immediately already said that's not the case. You don't feel burned out after playing it, right?
I don't now, but thinking back, the first like 2 or 3 games we played, I definitely felt a little bit of it.
I think there are people that every time they play this, they're going to struggle, and it's always going to exhaust their brain just because they might struggle with the way that it plays, because everybody looks for different things in games, and some people really can't do those spatial puzzles very well.
Yeah, I love puzzles.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think it is a bit of a brain burner. It's because it's not only the spatial puzzle, but it's all the shipping and receiving that gets brought into it as well. So that can be a lot to process at a time. Yeah. And sometimes you're kind of sitting there like, man, like you could easily get lost in like all the things that you can do and all the ways you can build it.
I remember saying like this is a lot more work.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly.
And
so I've read that it's more work than it is a game, and I can totally see that. Even though I like disagree with it, I think it's more of a game and more fun than it is work. I can totally see why someone would be like, that's too much work.
When you were teaching me, when you were to play it.
Exactly. Like I said, this game is really hard to like learn, but then once it clicks, like you see.
But just like any other board game.
I would agree with that. But some people I think won't ever really enjoy it, and they won't even really want to because it's just too,
I get that too, because there are games where I'm like that.
But yeah, exactly. Nature. But my secondary thought, which I was kind of leading into, was that this game can be prone to AP, which is analysis paralysis, meaning you can just be sitting there for a long time being like, I've got 3 tiles and I can play 2 of them. What am I going to do?
That's why simultaneous play, only 3 turns, is great.
I guess you're right. I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
That does kind of solve that problem. So I take back that negative. That's one less negative. But yeah, so if you play with somebody, or if you're somebody that wants to make the optimal move every single time, that can get that. No, that is not me. Watch our playthrough and see if that
when we do playthroughs, you play differently than you do when we're not recording.
Don't tell them that. You're supposed to tell them that.
when we're recording, you just play.
You're not supposed to tell them that. Anyways, prone to AP, you might struggle because you can definitely take a long time trying to figure out what to do.
I'm telling the secret.
The other thing I'll say is that my only other thought is that it doesn't give you that sort of like, that like high that sometimes board games can give you, where it's just like a rush of like, does that even make sense? Like, it's very satisfying shipping out your goods, and when you receive the goods, it feels really good. And just like when you have a working little pipe system where you're getting stuff out and the trucks are going well, it feels good, but it's never that that feeling like when you roll dice and you get like a crit and you're like, oh, like you never.
I don't have that.
You never get that high.
I felt that with this. It felt good, especially like when I got like ahead of you. It felt really good. See, this is my type of game. I guess is the difference.
It feels good. Like I said, it feels good. Like when you're winning, it feels good. Like when things are working, it feels satisfying. It's very satisfying. But you don't get that rush of rush of endorphins.
I mean, it was good when I beat you that one time. It felt good.
Maybe I'm wrong then. I guess I'm wrong.
It's just different opinions.
I'm talking about like that.
This game and this type of game.
Yeah.
You might not like that as much.
I'm just like
it might not feel as satisfying.
I'm trying to think
I like it more.
A game I can talk about, but you would not feel that way about War of the Ring.
No.
I'm trying to think of like Summoner Wars when I have to do this to win the game. If I don't get this, they're gonna get my person. And then you roll, and it's like that perfect roll.
I don't feel that with Summoner Wars. I really enjoyed Summoner Wars. I think I gave it a good rating.
Maybe you don't ever feel that.
I didn't feel that with that game.
Maybe you don't ever feel that. But in those moments where it's there's tension and you feel the tension and you're like, if this doesn't go my way, then I'm screwed. And then you do something and it goes your way, or you make the perfect draw, or you look at your hands and you have the perfect combo and you're like, yes.
Okay, I think I'm gonna get a little bit of hate for this.
Okay.
But in my mind, it's not, oh crap, if I don't get the right roll, I'm screwed. It's, if I don't get the right roll, it's just a board game.
I mean, ultimately, of course, that's the case.
So that's probably why I never feel like that. But you do remember, I did not like that you were better at this than me. So
that's true. I beat her, and her mood was ruined.
Never happened.
It never happened. It was great. It was great. She was in a bad mood, and I just kept rubbing it in.
It sucked.
It was great.
Because I'm better than you at puzzles. So
not that night you weren't. Not that night you were. That was a good night. That was a beautiful night. The moon was full. Okay, well, different people, I guess.
Different people. Which is great. We're different people. Yeah. I think this is a good.
If you're the type of person that wants that build up, and then it's this is it.
Well, then you should listen to
this is it.
What's it called? Dubstep.
Exactly. If you like dubstep, you will hate this game. You will hate this game. That's kind of all the thoughts I had. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
No, other than I really enjoyed this game.
All right, well, let's move into final scores then.
Okay.
I'm curious to see what you're gonna rate this, but I'll go first. I've been thinking hard. I'm still.
That's unusual for you.
Yeah, it hurt. I'm gonna give this game. I'm gonna give this game a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay. Why?
Explain 4 out of 5. A 4 out of 5 to me is a game that unquestionably is staying in the collection.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to get rid of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I will always be down to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always be down to play it, and I would even ask to play it
mm-hmm.
a lot. But it's just not the best game. It's
mm-hmm.
not a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5s for me are very rare. It doesn't have everything that I want in a 5 out of 5 for me. I can totally see why this would be a 5 for someone.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a 4 out of 5, which means I love it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what does a 5 out of 5 mean? A
5 out of 5 is just the best. It is the best for you. Everything you want in a game, it has it. So for me, it's Brass Birmingham. I love Brass Birmingham. There's beer. I can stop right there.
You can't even drink it, but it's there.
I can stop right there. But yeah, so 4 and 5s to me stay in the collection no matter what. You're always wanting to play them. 5s are just the absolute best game to you.
Okay. So this is hard for me because I personally feel like for me it's a 5 out of 5. It hits everything.
Okay.
And I would probably forever play this. It's fun and it's different every time, which is what I look for in games. I feel like on a board game scale, this is probably a 4 out of 5.
Don't give it a board game rating. Give it your rating because you.
I just explained myself.
Okay.
I personally look for variety and fun and quick playtime, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really find any fault in it. There's not any fault.
In fact, all the faults I brought up, you shot down pretty well.
There's not any fault. So to me, that is a 5 out of 5. I look forward to playing this with Riley when she's old enough. Which means it's staying in our collection.
Yeah.
So, but there's not, I don't know. But I have to say, like, board game wise, it's probably a 4
You can't give it a board game rating, because what's a board game rating? It's a board game, and you've played it, so what do you
Because there's not, like, a whole lot here, right?
It's $20.
Yeah, okay. I guess if you're looking at it from that viewpoint. Okay, well,
if it was $60, I might have to lower it to a 3, but it's $20 and it's great.
That's true. If it was on par, like,
and plus,
price-wise with other
even
games,
if it was $60, give it what you think,
okay.
not what you think other.
It's a 5 out of 5.
Because there are people out there who feel the same way as you do about games, and they're looking for the same things as you. So give it what you want, just like there are people looking for the same things as me.
Okay. Short playtime, no faults. It's fun, variety.
It's 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Mark it down. That's the first 5 out of 5 I've ever heard from you.
Did I not give Dune 5 out of 5?
I think you gave Dune a 4.
That's harsh, because I love Dune.
I don't know what you give Dune. Check
We'd have to check
the video.
it.
You might even give it a 3. That was an early
That was
video.
one of our first ones, and I was kind of like,
I
didn't like understand.
Thing, but anyways, a 5 out of 5, that's good. I mean, it's a 4 out of 5 for me. I struggled. I thought about giving it a 5. But to me, it's just not like the.
Game.
It's not. To me, I want more complexity. That's the thing.
That's what I meant on a board game scale. Like,
I want more complexity. I want brass, but brass was like $70. Mm-hmm. So like, I want that complexity, but that doesn't. That's not really a negative for this game.
It's just a different type of game, I guess. Okay, I'll look at it in that way. It's a different type of game, and it's a nail on
there
the
you
head
go.
for me.
It's a nail.
Yes.
It's a nail on the head. It's a nail right on the head.
That's exactly.
So that's an average of 4.5. So that's probably our best rating yet, I think.
I think so. This is probably the first game we've really agreed on.
Yeah.
Because you even kind of disagreed on Dune.
Dune was good, but Dune is at the same. Dune's great, but Dune is also not great. Like at the same time, it's great. I love it. I love Dune, but it's not perfect. So that is our review of Curious Cargo. So pretty good rating. Mm-hmm. So if you could comment, if you're here watching still, we love interacting. We like the comments. Like, subscribe, all that's good, but commenting is really what we want out of this, kind of to interact with people and talk to other people about board games and about anything.
Yep. You can message us on Instagram too.
She does the Instagram, so if you want to talk to her and not me, go to Instagram.
Never gonna hear from anybody.
Get ready for some dick pics.
Disgusting.
That's all. So go out there, be kind to someone, and other than that, just have a great rest of your day.
God bless.